Buenos dias, mis amigos, my beloved Spanish 1 students. This particular virtual lesson deals with the 4 irregular verbs that we've learned up to this point. And as you can see, I've set it up with the lovely Spanish flag to your left there in the shape of a circle or a globe or what have you. And I have some explanation here. Irregular verbs. Number 1 are very common. These are the most common verbs actually. Number 2, the conjugations need to be memorized. So you have to just kind of go over these over and over and over and over and over and over again. And eventually you will have them memorized, and then you'll be able to use them with such ease that it'll amaze you. The third thing that I want to remind you of is that if you master these, you are pretty much set in Spanish 1, because this is a big part of Spanish 1, just kind of getting these verbs under your belt and being able to use them in questions and answers. And using them correctly. So let's take a look over here at the first verb that you learned, ser. Now for this first one, I will set up our conjugation chart, but for the rest of them, I will not do that. So we have our first person singular, our second person singular, and our third person singular. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted. And then we have nosotros. And of course, the second person plural used only in Spain, vosotros. And then you have the plurals ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Now these subject pronouns are the same subject pronouns, obviously, for every single verb. So, having said that, let's start to conjugate. So looking at the yo form of ser, we see that it's yo soy, tú eres, that's you are, él, ella, or usted es, he, she, or you in the formal is, nosotros somos, vosotros, oops, let's just make that like that, vosotros sois, and ellos, ellas, ustedes son. Okay, estar over here, estar, estoy, estás, estás with an accent, está. Okay, I am, you are, he or she is. Do you remember when you use estar instead of using ser? They both mean to be. So how in the world do I know which one to use at a particular time? Well, for the purposes of Spanish 1, what we taught you already is that you use estar when it comes to, up here I'll write it, mood and location. Okay, for example, the question, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Estoy bien, gracias. I am fine, thank you. Or location, where you are. Like, I am in the library. Estoy en la biblioteca. You would say that instead of soy en la biblioteca. Use ser for anything else. Ser is used mainly for descriptions and such. Estar used for mood and location. Okay, let's look at the third verb, tener. So the conjugations of tener. Tengo, I have. Tienes, you have. Tiene, he or she has. Tenemos, we have. Tenéis, you have. And tienen, they have. Make special note here that tener is used to mean to have, and it also means many other things. It's used in various idioms, so I'll just put here used in idioms. For example, you've already learned how to ask how old somebody is, ¿Cuántos años tienes? Which literally means how many years does somebody have, but basically it means how old are you, and you would answer that by saying tengo, for example, 15 years old, tengo 15 años. I have 15 years, literally, but basically what that means in terms of a Spanish to English equivalent, the English would mean I am 15 years old. Last verb, as you put up here, Dora's favorite verb, because she always used to say, come on, vámonos, let's go. So actually, it's voy vas, va? I go, you go, he or she goes. Vamos is we go, vamos. Vais, you go in the vosotros form, and van. Okay, there you have it. That is our irregular verb list up to this point. Please remember those, memorize those, flashcards, watch this video over and over again. Do whatever it takes to master these. If you do, I can guarantee you will have much success in Spanish 1. You're halfway there if you learn these 4. Good job. Thank you, and hasta luego.